Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Hello everybody, welcome along to AOR Apex Online Racing. Today we're at the Hungaroring for round 12 of the Season 5 calendar for Oceania for the Hungarian Grand Prix, a track where precision is absolutely key, turning in points, braking zones, apexes. This track is basically known as Monaco without the barriers for most of the F1 community, so consistency is going to be a major factor, and this track has been on the F1 calendar since 1986. And it's had quite a few controversial moments in the past, such as Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen coming together at Turn 2 in 2017. I wasn't very happy Australian after that one. But let's have a look at the track. The Hungaroring is 4.3 kilometers long with 14 turns, 6 to the left with 8 to the right, with 2 DRS zones for overtaking, one on the start finish straight and another immediately after Turn 1 going into Turn 2. 3 combat tyres available as always, the softs, mediums and the hards, where strategy is going to be very important as there are not many overtaking opportunities around here, so drivers might start thinking about the undercut, overcuts and different tyre compounds to start off with. My name's AOR Charlie and I'll be bringing you the live coverage of the Hungarian Grand Prix for Oceania, and joining me in the commentary box, which is felt like an absolute age since we've actually commentated together, is vFendz. Welcome back, vFendz.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie. Of course, Hungary was the first race of the AOR Oceania series, held back in Season 1, and it's the 4th time that we're coming back here today. Of course, we missed out on Season 4, so it'll be very interesting to see how the drivers do today. Of course, as you said, it is definitely a Monaco without walls, so it might be a bit of drama. It may, and of course, it's a bit challenging to overtake on this track, but I think they'll definitely make for some good viewing today.
Yeah, so let's have a quick look at the Drivers' Championship after Hockenheim. So New Zealand Ryan still leading the way with 266 points to his name, but he didn't actually win last time. Last time out was Alan Hugo, and he's in 2nd position with 136 points. Warden's in 3rd, but again, he can't make it for today's race, with Poms to the win in 4th with 60. Is that Matt in 5th, only 1 point behind the racing point of Poms to the win, with that laggy person in 6th. Top Answer 7th with Master Berserker 8th, and Master Berserker, oh yeah, I was going to say Master Berserker isn't in the session, but he is in the session. I just didn't remember talking to him before the race. I'm Deathbo in 9th and Derek Kidd in 10th. In 11th is VSR Roscoe on for Alfa Romeo on 12 points, with Butler in 12th with 4 points. Joint points with him is his own teammate, Bazooka on 4 points. Kairos and Converse Strait both on 1 point as well, and Icarus with 0 points for Haas. Looking at the Constructors 5 with 323 points to their name, which is an absolutely massive lead they've got right now, ahead of Haas with 136 points, and actually joint points with them is Toro Rosso in 3rd, Mercedes in 4th, only 2 points ahead of Renault in 5th, McLaren in 6th, Racing Point in 7th with 79 points, Alfa Romeo with 71 in 8th, Red Bull in 9th with Williams on 2 points in last. So let's have a look at the qualifying action. We've got about 15-ish minutes left to go in qualifying, and this is going to be quite interesting, friends, because Hungary, it's a weird track. It's, like we said, it's kind of like Monaco, not really many overtaking opportunities, and strategy is going to be quite a key factor. Have you got anything to bring to us about that?
Yes, I do. So The softs to the hards is definitely possible. You'd be pitting around about lap 9, but as usual, the medium to the hard strategy is probably going to be the quickest strategy and the strategy that we'll probably see most drivers do today, where they'll probably be pitting around about lap 15, lap 16 to go to the end on the hard tire. And as we see right now, a lot of drivers just going through and completing laps on the hard tire. So doing their usual qualifying runs, and then near the final 5 minutes of the session, they'll probably bring out the medium tire and try for a really good lap time, Charlie.
Yep, and I've heard a few people thinking about starting on the hards actually, and then going on to the mediums later on. We'll have to see because, yeah, it's a weird track. It's where, I don't know, consistency, like I said, you have to be really consistent around here. There's a few corners which are tricky, for example, turn 4, that really fast left-hander, sorry, going up the hill. And actually the corner after that, turn 5, because there's a little curb right there. If you touch that, your car will actually get spun around quite easily. And looking at the times at the moment, we've got Laggy Person who's on a provisional pole with an 18.4. Promised to win 2/10 behind him on the softs. And looks like there's a bit of an incident here actually. If we're going on board with that Laggy Person and Narms, Laggy Person got in the way of Narms. I'm not sure if that was if Laggy Person was on a lap or something there, but actually Butler now takes provisional pole with an 18.1. Master Berserk in 4th as well. New Zealand Ryan, he says time in with a 20.7, but I don't think that's going to be a representative lap time at the moment. We've got Icarus who's just ahead of him going into turn 12. It looks like he's being held up a little bit here by the Haas driver as we go into the penultimate corner, and he actually has to go for the move down the inside of the Haas, and there he goes. He goes around the outside and basically makes a move during his hot lap, which is definitely going to lose him a bit of time, opening up the DRS, and he's actually going to back off going into across the line. So yeah, there he goes. Actually invalidated anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. But he's on the softs, Fens. So what does that tell you about his strategy?
I think he might possibly right now, he might just be doing a bit, just doing a couple laps around, just getting used to the tires. Because of course you can have the issue sometimes if you do get a good time on the soft tires and you're inside the top 10 and it wasn't your push lap, for example, a lot of people invalidated, then you actually have to start on those tires. So he's probably just playing it a bit cautious right now, just getting a bit of a feel for the track, getting ready for his final run. But right now, LSCM the Butler on pole position for now. I mean, we haven't seen the medium tires really be used yet, so that might change, but he's doing a very good job. I have seen his performance in a few of the races that I have missed, and his pace does seem to be quite good. And Charlie, do you reckon that he'll be able to challenge for the win today?
Well, he could do, but yeah, I don't think. Do you know how long he's been on this game for? Because I feel like he's kind of getting into the league racing stuff.
I don't. He doesn't have that much experience on the Formula One game. He is very famous on the Forza scene, though. He did the Le Mans series, and he's going to be doing that again. So I think his F1 commitments are a bit of a side project right now as he focuses on his Le Mans commitments. But he's still very, very quick on this game, definitely.
Yeah. So maybe if he converts his pace from there into here, well, we could see him as a front runner. Look at him right now; he's on provisional pole. So we'll have to see how he keeps going. But yeah, he's gonna be going into. He's actually in the pits right now. So and the whole top 10 on the hard compound tires, and promised to win. Actually going on an out lap on the. Nope, he's actually on the hards. Oh no, I've got it the wrong way around. Sorry, excuse me. The best lap times that these guys have set, they're all on the hards except from Poms to win. But now they're all on the hards. As Poms actually goes off in the grass there at. What turn is that? Turn 13. Before turn 13, which caused a little bit of a yellow flag. There, but he's about to start his lap time as well. Going through the order, VSR Roscoe, I'm in 8th position. He's actually on an out lap right now. It looks like 9/10 up in his lap time. Going into sector 3, turn 12. Takes it in 4th gear on the exit into the penultimate corner. Takes it in 2nd for the turning in. Short shifting up a few gears there. Going into the final corner. So coming in 8th with a 19.2. Needs to gain 2/10 to move up a position on Is That Matt. Opening up the DRS and flying towards the line. Can he improve on that lap time? He can. And that's P2 for VSR Oscar Arm. Wow. Great lap time for him there, Fend.
Yeah, I think Roscoe, he's definitely got a lot of pace on this game. I think that he can definitely get a really good result. And actually, New Zealand Venom actually goes to the top, and I believe is that on the hard tire as well?
That is on the hard,
I can't see because he's going down the straight. Yes, so we're seeing some really fast times here on the hard tire today. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. I mean, seeing a couple people are going to be going on the medium tires near the end, as we have said. But as you said, have you heard a bit of chatter saying that a couple people are going on the hard tire possibly for the start? So we might be seeing a couple people pushing on the hard tires.
Yeah, we got two drivers right now on the mediums. That's Ikayawas and Comrade Stray. Everyone else is on the hards. As Poms the Win now takes provisional pole with a 17.7. So yeah, this is actually going to be quite interesting. As that Matt is lagged out, hopefully someone can chuck him an invite quickly. As yeah, two drivers on the mediums. The rest of the hards. Quite actually, the majority of them are out on track now, so some people might want to set those hard laps now and then maybe go into the mediums later on, or they want to stick with it. It's actually going to be quite an interesting qualifying here. New Zealand Ryan is coming through the final corner now to start his lap time, also on the hard compound tyres, Fence, if you want to take us on board with the lap of him.
Alright, so he's just opening up the DRS here now, heading down the straight. It's a very long straight here. You're going to see if he opts for the 8th gear. No, he sticks in 7th, braking just after the 100-meter board here. You can brake very late at that corner there. He short shifts after 3rd gear, DRS flap open. And you're going to want to probably brake about where the 50-meter sign is here. And you're going to want to take a tight line through this corner here, short shifting up to 4th gear, as Ryan does. Heading down straight, you don't want to run wide there, otherwise they'll invalidate your lap. And this is the very, very tough section here, as this is where most people will invalidate their lap. And I think Ryan has there, because generally when you go over the white line there, it's just a invalidated lap straight away. So yeah, I think that's what's happened here for Ryan, and he's had to back off Charlie.
Yeah, that was it was going a little bit it's just going a little bit sideways going through that corner. So thankfully he caught that, but yeah, it's gonna be he'll have to wait another lap. His tires are gonna be a little bit ruined after that, but it's the hard to last for absolutely ever. So not too much of a problem there, as a few of the drivers are actually going into the pit lane. We got VSR Roscoe, I'm heading into the pit lane now. We've got Bazooka who's actually going out on the soft compound tires. Same with that laggy person actually. Well, they haven't gone out, but they fitted the soft compound tires. Actually, no, Bazooka is going out on the soft compound tires, and laggy person is just fitting them for now, just to maybe see what the times are looking like. Is there anyone else on a hot lap that we can have a look at? Ryan's actually going to start another one here as he comes through turn 1. So he's going to take it in first gear, and yeah, he's I'm not going to lie, he doesn't look that confident at the moment. I don't know. I mean, after that little bit of a mistake going into turn 4 is going to give him a little lack of confidence after that. Pomster Win's actually going out on the mediums now. We've got 6 minutes 30, so there's still plenty of time as Ryan's going to go for round 2 through this corner, and this time it's a lot cleaner before going into turn 5. That corner there, really tricky to get right before going into the chicane of turn 6 and into turn 7. That's a car getting out of his way there. I didn't actually catch who that was, but braking zone. You're looking at that corner. That was turn 8. There's a little the black box on the right hand side. That's your turning in point going into a really quick corner. This one takes it in 5th gear, and that was turn 11 going into turn 12. Narms now goes provisional pole with a 17.4. That's 3/10 clear of Poms the Win's time at the moment, going into the second last corner for New Zealand Ryan before going into the final corner. Looks a lot cleaner from the championship leaders. For the championship leaders qualified at the moment, through the final corner, out of VOS, up to the line, and he smashes it with a 16.8 there. And that's where we normally see him on the qualifying times there. But there we go, provisional pole for Ryan ahead of Narms. We've seen that a little bit of a combo there before, back in Melbourne, Australia, right at the start of the season, where those guys were battling out for the win there. That was a long time ago. Unfortunately, Narms hasn't really been racing that recently, but maybe we're going to be in for a treat here, Fens, as these guys are really close to each other on the qualifying. Not really times at the moment, actually, because Ryan is 6/10 clear of Narms, but there's still plenty of time, isn't there?
I wouldn't really consider the 6/10 as a 6/10 because Narms has been on these tyres for 7 laps, which probably means he had a lot more fuel, and his tyres are a lot older than what Ryan's tires are. So he's probably been doing a bit of race practice, most likely here, just going around in the hard tire. And I'm assuming Niles will probably opt for the medium tire for his final run, as we're seeing most of the drivers head into the pit lane now. Some are exiting, as the Butler and Williams car behind him are heading out on the medium tire. But yeah, I think this is we're getting to the point where everyone's going to be opting for the their final runs here, Charlie.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot more different tyre compounds being brought out, it looks like. So, actually now, a lot of drivers on the mediums. We've got like a person in Bazooka still on the softs. Actually, talking about Bazooka, he went out on the softs and he's gone back in on the softs. So, he did actually set a better lap time on those red stripes softs. So, yeah, maybe he's just thinking about it, just seeing if it's actually worth it. As there's 3 drivers out on track at the moment. We've got Common Straight going through turn 5 and heading towards turn 6. We've got Ikawas as well, his teammate just ahead of him going into turn, what corner is that? That is turn 8 and, no, sorry, turn 9 and into turn 10 heading towards turn 11. We've got Butler who's out on track as well, but he's on the medium compound tyres, so, and his best lap is on the hard. So, yeah, actually, everyone's best lap is on the hard compound tyres. Look at that. I haven't seen that in quite a while, but and actually, yeah, everyone is basically out on the mediums. Apart from Ryan, Icarus, and Comrade Straight all on the hards at the moment. So, on board with Butler, coming through the final corner, opening up the DRS, and he is going to start his lap time heading towards turn 1. There's quite a few cars ahead of him, so he needs to be careful with the traffic. This is quite an awkward time, though, for people to start their hot laps. There's quite a bit of traffic, but again, you still got that guarantee that if you do mess up with this lap, you can go again, but that's just that little risk of a few drives ahead of you that can kind of ruin your lap, especially as it's Hungary. There's not a lot of opportunities for drivers to get out of your way heading into turn 4, and that was a little bit squirmy there from Butler, and he's actually going to back out from that lap time there. A few drivers struggling there, Fence, it looks like, but it's not really a surprise because that corner is quite hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it is definitely a tough corner, and as we saw with Ryan on board, I think it'd be especially harder on the pad as well, because you've got to be absolutely precise with your turn-in as well. I think there's a bit more leeway with the wheel in terms of getting through that corner, so we'll see a lot of drivers struggle through that corner, and that generally is the corner where we'll be seeing most of the invalidations during qualifying. So yeah, 2 minutes ago, and I think most drivers are probably going to be, most drivers are out right now. Most of them are on the medium tyre, but they all do have that hard tyre banker ready in case they invalidate their medium runs here, Charlie.
Yeah, so they still got that guarantee just in case they do mess up again and they go on to the hards. So we've got most likely, well, not most likely, but we probably will see a few drivers starting on those hards. But the mediums, everyone's going to go out in them at the moment. Only the bottom 2 are actually going out on the hards, and they're both in the pit lane. So I don't think they'll be able to continue on that unless they do get out in time. There's 1 minute 40 left to go in the qualifying session. Nams has gone off at turn 2 there. I think he's just letting a few drivers through. Yeah, I think that was the case. So 1 minute 30. We've got 2 Ferraris going out of the pit lane. Look at that. Right next to each other with just under a minute 30 left to go. And these guys will have to be careful with how they're going to handle this because they're right close to each other and their teammates and the time's running out. So they need to make sure that they can get through qualifying without any troubles there. Looking at the few drivers starting their lap times now. Martin Berserker and a few drivers through as well. 1 minute left to go. We got Ryan on provisional pole. Nams in second. Poms the win in third. 3/10 behind Nams. New Zealand Venom in fourth. Derek Kidd in fifth. Butler in sixth with Visar Waskoam seventh. Laggy Person eighth. Bazooka ninth. Icar was 10th. And everyone else, Martin Berserk, Deathbird, Matt, Commonstraight, Icarus, they will be able to start on whatever time they want to at this moment in time. But at the end of qualifying, times and positions can really change as we're under a minute left to go in qualifying. Drivers are starting to cross the line. We've got New Zealand Venom. He's about to cross the line now. He's currently in fourth as he now takes provisional pole with a 16.5. So that's the benchmark for these drivers to improve on. Venom is going to back up from that lap time. So that is the benchmark. For now, we got New Zealand Williams coming through the final few corners. I'm Deathbird going into... he's actually improved to P3, so I didn't see that. P3 with a 16.9, 1/10 behind Ryan as he's going to stop at turn 1 to make sure he doesn't get in the way of some drivers there. Anyone else coming through last? Butler in P7, he's going through not the final chicanes, turn 6 and turn 7 there. and anyone else who's looking to be on a lap time there. Master Berserk as well in 12th. He's actually not set a very good banker there. Pumps to the win now goes P2 with 16.6, only a 10th behind New Zealand Venom. So times are really starting to fall here. Death by retirement as well. Butler coming through the final few corners there, going into 10-13, the penultimate corner, into the final corner now for Butler. Currently P7 with an 18.0. Yellow flags in every single sector as Butler crosses the line. It's P5 for the Red Bull driver. So pretty good qualifying session from him. VSR Roscoe Arm coming through the final corner now, opening up the DRS. Can he improve on his P8? He can. It's P6, which pushes Narms down into P8 actually, because Master Berserk now crosses the line. New Zealand Ryan and his teammate, that laggy person, coming through the final few corners now. The laggy person ahead of him, so Ryan could be getting a little bit of dirty air from his own teammate as there's a few more drivers improving there. Derek Kidd now goes to P6. Laggy person, he crosses the line, P3. New Zealand Ryan, he takes pole though with, I don't even know what lap time that was, to do with the last driver to cross the line.
15-9.
15-9, the only driver to be in the 15s, am I right? I think it is. And
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
what a qualifying session that was, Fens. Look at that. 6/10.
Yeah, there's a bit of a gap. Ryan has always been really good at Hungary though, so that probably explains a bit of it. But New Zealand Venom has done a great job in the McLaren car to come home in second place and start on the front row. Pomps to the win in third on his racing point. That leggy person in fourth, Deathbro fifth, LSEM the Butler sixth, Derek Keith seventh, Roscoe eighth, Berserk ninth, and Narms in 10th place, going to be starting on the hard tyre today. And then Brazuca Kairos is that Matt Conrad show and Icarus are rounding out your grid today, Charlie.
Yeah, so times, I mean, I was going to say times look pretty close, but Ryan looks to be miles ahead of everyone at the moment. But before we have a look at the race action, here's a quick video from our sponsor, Hype Energy. Welcome to the grid for the Hungarian Grand Prix. It is going to be a dry race, we have been told, but it looks a bit cloudy, so it's not going to be the most sunniest Grand Prix you've ever seen. But yeah, it's going to be dry, and we shouldn't be seeing any of the intermediates or the wets being used as the drivers head on to their formation lap. As I just some of them was just invisible for me for some reason. But anyway, we're back. 35 laps we're going to be seeing around here, Fens. And let's have a look at the tyre compounds. It looks to be quite interesting at the back. And we've got Narms on the hards. So what do you think? Predictions.
Well, Narms is probably going to improve in his qualifying position. Of course, he did qualify in the hard tyre. I think he may have ruined his medium run a bit, but we'll definitely be seeing him go up the field a bit. Of course, earlier in the qualifying session, we were talking about a Ryan v Narms race. So, yeah, expect a bit of moving from him. Of course, Ryan will probably, most likely, maybe get a bit ahead of the pack after a few laps. That has been the pattern for a lot of these races. And yeah, we should see a lot of the hard runners move up through the field as well, of course. But the start is definitely going to be very interesting. A lot of drivers on the medium tyre, especially at the front. So my prediction, though, is Ryan for the win today. And what about you, Charlie?
I mean, we've had a spin. That's Icarus round of the formation lap in last place.
Oh!
So drivers have to wait a little bit longer there. But yeah, I'm going to go for Ryan as well, because, I mean, after that qualifying, it looks to be like he's on the pace today. And yeah, turn one is going to be quite a bit more conservative. There's no one else going on for like the soft compound tyre ones. No one's going to pit extremely early compared to everyone else. So unless you get damaged, which is why people have to be just a little bit more careful. Because if you do get damage on the hard compound tyres, it's going to be a long race, because you have to probably go into the mediums and pit again. And then the mediums is going to be, it's going to be quite tricky. So anyone who gets damage on lap one is really going to struggle, as Icarus is just a few meters behind everyone else coming into the final corner. But there he goes. He's about to line up to his final grid stop. We're going to get round 12 for Oceania underway as Icarus Here he goes, everyone on the grid, and he's going to line up to his grid slot in P15. But here we go, the green flags are waving, and we're going to get the Hungarian Grand Prix underway. Round 12 of the Season 5 calendar for Oceania. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And away they go with Ryan on pole position, and he looks to get a pretty decent start alongside New Zealand Venom as there's positions changing already. Derek, who looks to have a little bit of a nightmare start, heading into turn 1 as it looks like the racing point of Pomston Win is going to go around the outside of New Zealand Venom. Can he keep around the outside? That he can't, just about. So he's going to have to fall behind for to position 3. As he's actually going to try around the outside once again going into the next corner, but he can't make that work either. The Lager person's going to hold on to P4, Butler in P5, Master Berserk in P6 as they all head to the really fast left-hander of turn 4. Yes, Roscoe is going to be put under pressure by the Renault driver there as it goes into the next few corners. Is that Matt is being put under pressure by Renault as well. A little bit of a lock up there, but he just about keeps his car out to the barriers there. Problems the win has lost the position to that Laggy person. Now Laggy person's up into the podium positions of P3, and looks like everyone else is going to keep it quite clean for now. And yeah, not really any incidents it looks like Fens out of the first 2 sectors of lap 1.
Yeah, 4 wide into turn 1 though, that was always going to be very, very scary, but they've all managed to keep it clean, which is very good. Yeah, just looking through, there was a lot of battling, especially from like 7th and below, heading through, especially into turn 4. That was making me really nervous, but all the drivers have managed to keep it clean, and Ryan has pulled a 0.8 second gap on New Zealand Venom, who fought with Pomps to the win for the first few corners, but that laggy person has managed to get in between them. So Venom is now stuck in a bit of a Ferrari sandwich as all the drivers go through to complete lap 1. And Nams has also fallen back to P11, so he hasn't had a good start. But VSI Roscoe has just been overtaken by I'm Death Row. And heading into turn 4 now. And it looks like there isn't going to be that much moving and changing, except maybe the back. Looks like it's going to be fairly processional for the first part of lap 2, Charlie.
Yeah, so it looks like everyone's kept it quite clean at the moment. No damage, it looks like, or what I've seen so far as we go midway through lap 2. Ryan already 1.4 seconds clear of New Zealand Venom. So 2 New Zealand boys up at the front at the moment. Laggy person isn't that far behind Venom though. As we go to the back of the field a little bit, we've got Conrad Straight and Ikai was there losing a bit of positions there as we got still a few of the drivers trying to keep up with the front runners there. We've got Laggy person, he's still on the back of Venom. Pomps the win is still there too. Butler, Master Berserk, everyone is still basically in there. They can still see the front of the pack there. They can still see Ryan as they go into the final corner as they start onto lap 3. DRS is going to be enabled, so DRS will be enabled on this straight here and going to be enabled on the straight heading into turn 2. So bit of overtaking opportunities there, but after this corner here, I'm on board with that Laggy person. This corner here with the DRS is going to be a little bit tricky to overtake around here. The straight just isn't that long enough to overtake unless you really do a good move like the under and over, which is actually quite a good move actually heading into turn 1, because it's quite a wide corner. If you go a little bit wide and the driver goes to the inside line, cut back there. We've seen a lot of drivers do that in the past. Then that could be quite an interesting move there, Fens. But yeah, positions at the moment, not much changing. Gaps are still quite big, and yeah, we're going to be set for, it looks like another Monaco race at the moment.
Well, hopefully there's a bit of overtaking. Maybe drama like Monaco, but hopefully a bit more overtaking than Monaco. So yeah, I mean, we will see a lot of overtaking into turn 1. That definitely is the best option for overtaking. Though because of the way the track is laid out, the undercut here will definitely be crucial, because you can hold on and defend the driver, as we saw the last time we went here in season 3. Jared with his wing damage was able to hold off me and Ryan, which was, so it's very, very easy to defend, I think, at this track. So yeah, I think we'll be seeing of course, we have seen a lot of trains as well recently, especially with the way the F1 2019 game works. It's a lot easier sometimes to maybe just stay in a train, get the DRS, and just save your ERS a bit. But yeah, hopefully we'll see a bit of overtaking today, Charlie. We are actually going to see a bit of overtaking here, possibly with Derek Kidd, who's right behind VSI Roscoe, which is the battle I'm on with right now. But yeah, it looks like Derek Kidd's not going to be able to make it work. So Yeah, the only other really close battle on track right now is Poms to the Win, who's 0.2 behind that laggy person. So there are two battles that we'll definitely have to keep an eye on throughout the race, Charlie.
Yeah, but like 4 out of 35, Poms to the Win, laggy person. Quite close with each other at the moment, but laggy person's falling behind Venom a little bit, 1.6 seconds. Now that's actually the gap between Venom and Ryan as well, so it's going to be quite interesting to see if Laggy Person can actually keep up, because he's out of that DRS range, and these two are just going to fly off if that's the case, because DRS is going to be quite a big factor as well, to actually just try and stay with the car ahead of you, and dirty air as well is going to be quite hard to keep up with the car ahead. So yeah, there's loads of factors to take into account here to try and keep up, and the undercut as well, we're going to be seeing quite a bit of that, I reckon, later on when we see a few of these drivers pit. But yeah, no one's actually pitted right now, so we haven't seen anyone go for a different strategy, as we've got Derek here who's looking to go for a move on VSR Roscoe. I'm there going into turn 1, thinking better of it, heading into turn 2, another DRS straight there. A few drivers weaving a little bit up ahead as Master Berserk is got a little bit wide going into turn 2, a little bit squirmy there, bit of cold tires maybe, as he's just literally drifted through that corner, but luckily just about kept onto that as we go into turn 4. And yeah, looks like his tyres are struggling a little bit, but I should be able to warm them up later on. But lap 5 out of 35, Poms to Win still behind that laggy person here, so laggy person's going to be put under pressure by the Racing Point. And yeah, it's going to be quite cool to see where Poms actually turns up, because last race he actually did quite well. I think it was P4. Was it for Poms last time? As we got a person round there, that's Bazooka. At turn, what turn is that? That's turn 6 and turn 7, so he's going to be behind the pack quite a bit there. But yeah, Fens, it looks like Ryan is now 3 seconds ahead of Venom, so he's actually got that, basically the penalty gap. He can get away with the penalty and probably still be able to get ahead of Venom. So if you're in Ryan's shoes right now, what are you thinking? Are you thinking to just pull the gap as much as you can, or maybe just chill a little bit? You've got the gap, you don't need to push that much, just wait until the pit stop. And yeah, what do you think?
It's definitely always nice to get the gap up as large as you can, and from my experience. But yeah, I think it's getting to the point now where I think if the gap was a bit closer between Venom and Ryan, I think Venom could have maybe tried, for example, maybe pitting on like lap 9 or lap 10, maybe a lot earlier than what Ryan would have, and try and get the undercut and try and hold on. But I think Ryan's pulling away too quickly for that really to work, and they'll put Venom on the back foot. So I don't think he's going to be able to try that. Yeah, just looking down the grid, he definitely has pulled a 2.5 second gap on that laggy person though, so he's doing a very, very good job today as well. Poms to Win is just behind that laggy person as well, ready to pounce. Master Berserk is also right behind LCM the Butler, and I have been watching Butler and Berserk for the past couple laps, and they have been making a few mistakes, so this will definitely be an interesting battle to watch here. As Berserk is very close to Butler, he will be getting the DRS, and he will get a lot of slipstream as that map picks up a 3-second time penalty. So staying on board Master Berserk here, pitting down the straight. Going to see if he's going to be able to pull a move on the Butler. He's gone into the overtake ERS, so he definitely has the opportunity here if he wants. Butler's going to defend the inside. Berserk is going to try and go around the outside. There's a very bold move here. He's going to see if he's going to make that work. If they're going to stay side by side here, Berserk has managed to get the traction, but I think Butler's going to have to go to the inside, and that's going to put Berserk on the outside line here, and I think Butler has managed to hold on. So very good defending there from Butler. Great great job at maximizing an overtaking chance as well for Master Berserk. He didn't get the move done, but it was definitely a very good attempt at an overtake. Attacking, yeah.
Yes, so Berserk is, yeah, I think this is where I don't think Butler might be saying, but it's a bit of experience that Berserk has got in F1, because Berserk's been racing in league racing in F1 for absolutely ages, and Butler hasn't got that bit of experience that Berserk has got, so kind of Berserk's got the advantage of this. He's kind of just getting to know what Butler's moves are like, so yeah, it's going to be quite cool. As bear in mind that this is actually
Berserk's fun.
Oh, Berserk! No, just as I said, he had the experience. He's And he's actually gonna go. Oh, what's going on here? There's loads of cars going side by side, going into the penultimate corner, into the final corner actually. VSR, what's going on? Death going side by side. We now got Nams actually gonna try and make it 3 wide as he goes to the inside line. And look at this, heading into turn 1 as they're all going to try diving down the inside. There goes Nams on the Mercedes around Death Bros. More contact between the two there as they head into turn 2. Nams is being pushed off the track nearly as they head into turn 2. Death Bros got the inside line, and now Demikin is going to try and go down the inside of Nams, even though Nams tried to make the move on Death Bros. They go into turn 3 and heading into turn 4. Is that Matt is going to try and get involved too as they all head into the fast left-hander of turn 4, as I think they're actually going to calm down a little bit now. Calm down, guys. Calm down. We're at this we're up this part of the track now. You can all. Oh my! Matt nearly lost it as well. So.
Oh, Roscoe and Matt.
Wow.
Oh,
and now
they've made contact. They've made contact. The Sauber drivers. The Sauber drivers made contact heading into the braking zone there, but Roscoe has stayed behind his map. But yeah, that was definitely a very, very intense scrap there between all those drivers there. I think Nams, I don't know whether he was actually trying to make the overtaking move on Deathbro, but as you get a 3-second time penalty for cutting the grass there. But then Deathbro very nearly put him on the grass there heading into turn 2. So yeah, that was definitely a very interesting scrap there to say the least. But yeah, they're all very close to each other now. This is definitely going to be a very, very intense next few laps. I think Nams will probably be a bit frustrated from that as well. And same with Deathbro, so and hopefully a couple more interesting battles like that coming up, Charlie.
Well, yeah, I mean, that all started when Berserk just lost the back end a little bit going through the penultimate corner. Then everyone backed up, and then the battle just kind of started. So I'm not sure if Berserk's going to be happy with that. I'm not sure, because he's actually not. He hasn't lost that much time to Butler. It's 1.4, and he's actually lost the gap basically behind him. So I don't know. Berserk's kind of lost him 1 at that point. I don't really know. I don't know if he's happy with that, but oh well. Back up the front, we got Pomps winning that Laggy person still quite close to each other. 6/10 between those two, but the gap between Laggy person and Venom has really pulled away now. 2.8, and look at that, Venom and Ryan 4.2 now. Venom could just about see Ryan in the background there going to the next few corners. So at the front, we've got Pomps the winner, Laggy person, who looked to be maybe think about Pomps maybe undercutting Laggy person to try and get past him. But the midfield right now, I mean, after that battle, that was definitely worth watching. Nams is on the back of Deathbro now. Lockups on both of these two drivers there as they head into the penultimate corner to the final corner. Nams is going to have the he's going to have the DRS on Deathbro there. And he's going to have that slipstream. Deathbro is going to try and go defensive. Nams is going to have to go to the outside line of the Mercedes driver as he breaks as late as he can. As Nams is going to try to do the under and over. This is what I talked about earlier. As Nams lost the back end again through that corner. So he just couldn't get past there. But he's going to try and make it work into turn 2. Even as Deathbro's locked up his front left tyre there going into turn 3. He's going to have the inside line as the Mercedes driver pushes Nams off the track a little bit there, as I think Nams is going to have to back out going into turn 4 as he does so there. But bear in mind, Nams is on the hard compound tyres compared to everyone else, so theoretically Nams should be slower, but he's doing quite well to keep up with these guys at the moment, Fens.
I think he'll definitely be a bit frustrated behind Deathbro now. I think he is the quicker driver out of the two in this situation. Actually, Nams and Derek Kidd are going side by side. I could just see the nose of Derek Kidd's car just, I mean, and they're going side by side.
No!
And Derek Kidd, they make contact, and Derek Kidd's in the wall. Oh no!
Oh dear.
Oh,
well, that's not what you want to see there.
Yeah, that was going to turn ugly there. Side by side through that corner definitely doesn't work. And yeah, that Derek Kidd's going to have wing damage now, and he's going to have to pit, and he's going to be way down the order. So yeah, that's a huge shame, but actually Nams is going for almost a spin there actually, but yeah, Deathbro has a 2-second gap on Nams now, but is that Matt and Nams are going to go side by side. Nams getting involved in all the battles here, and is that Matt is going to defend the inside line. Nams is going to maybe try around the outside. He's going to go for the switchback here. Is he going to get the traction this time? Yes, he will, and he will be able to get the move back on is that Matt, and he should be all good now heading to turn 2 here. Unless maybe is that Matt can get a run? No. But yeah, Derek Kidd's headed into the pits now. He's probably going to go on the hard tyres at the end of the race, and he's, of course, going to have that nose change. So, big shame for Derek Kidd, but I think drama was always, is definitely possible when you're going side by side to that part of the track there.
Yeah, that's just a real shame. Derek was doing quite well as well, so he's right at the back now
Yeah.
on the hard compound tires. We have to pit again because did he start on the hards? I can't actually remember.
No, no.
No, it was
He
on the
started
medium.
on the mediums.
So okay, so if he could take this to the end if he keeps his
Bazooka.
tires in good nick, and yeah, Bazooka's round that turn 5. So a few mistakes coming into the way of some of these drivers now. As Nams, like he said, friends, is getting involved in absolutely everything we've seen today. So Nams, he's got on death row ahead of him, and is that Matt behind him as well. And yeah, that move that he did on Matt just a lap ago going into turn 1, that is what he wanted to do a lap before when he tried to do the under and over. So yeah, Nams is going to try and catch up to Undeathable, but he should be near the front of the field, if not first, when everyone pits. So Nams has still got a long way to go in this Grand Prix. At the end of the Grand Prix with the medium compound tyres, hopefully, or maybe, he should be quite quick compared to everyone else, because everyone else will be on the hard compound tyres, or unless you're going to do the 2-stop, but it's probably going to be a 1-stop from mediums to hard. So yeah, Nams, he's going to have to start pushing a little bit to try and get the gap back, as we still got Master Berserk and Butler going at it here. But Master Berserk, after that slight mistake that we saw a few laps ago, caused that amazing battle that we saw in the midfield, is now back up to Butler there. Butler going a little bit wide going into turn 9, heading into into turn 10, going into turn 11 now. Turn 12, Berserk is going to try and wait a little bit, I reckon, for that DRS going into turn 1. Deathbro is actually going to catch up to these guys too, so this could allow Nams to catch up when these guys are battling, heading into the final corner for the Red Bull drivers. They're going to start their lap 13. New Zealand Ryan is now 7 seconds ahead of New Zealand Venom, as Master Berserk just couldn't get the better run out of the final corner, so he can't get past Butler, it looks like, going into turn 1, as he breaks very late though. And he could be in for a shot maybe into this DRS zone. This is a little bit closer to the Red Bull driver, but I don't think he's going to be close enough heading into turn 2. So we have to wait a little bit longer before going for another move. But Deathbro is now under a second behind Master Berserk, so he'll be in that DRS, and he could be able to get past Berserk and maybe get past Butler if he times it well, Fens.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. Of course, the pit stop phase is coming up as Master Berserk get very, very close to that curb there. And that curb is notoriously known for being a bit unstable on the car. So, yeah, we should be seeing the pit window for the medium runners open soon. But yeah, this battle between Butler, Berserk, and Deathbro definitely be interesting. As Berserk is on the grass. Deathbro has to be very careful here as they head in here. Yeah, and Berserk plays it safe, doesn't keep his nose in that, and yeah, that does give LCM the Butler a bit of breathing room. Which, and we'll see if anyone goes into any of these drivers opt for the pit lane. I think Berserk. If I was Berserk, I'd pit right now. But yeah, Berserk heads into the pit lane. There's a bit of a late turn into the pit lane, but we'll see what happens here. Yeah.
First driver
He'll be
probably. Actually, no, it's not the first driver, is it? It's the second driver in the pit lane, because Derek had pitted. But first driver to pit because of strategy, it looks like, anyway, other than damage. So Master Berserk in on lap 14, going onto the hard compound tyres. So he's going to try and take this to the end of the Grand Prix. And pitting early here, Fence, is going to be. It's a good move, but he's going to have to really push now if he wants to really get up there.
Yeah, he's going to have to warm up those hard tyres very, very quickly. LCM, the Butler, picks up a time penalty, so it'll definitely be interesting later in the race. We'll have to keep an eye on penalties, especially near the end, but Berserk runs really wide there, so he's probably going to struggle a bit to warm up these tyres, but this next lap or two will definitely be crucial for him. Of course, he's 2.3 seconds behind Comrades right now. He's going to have to hope that he can have a traffic-free next couple of laps, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Butler or Deathbro possibly reacts to the situation as well. And yeah, Poms to the win as well, and Poms to win, that laggy person will definitely be interesting in the pit lane battle as well. We'll see if any of those two drivers offer the pit lane. It looks like they're both going to head into the pit lane here as well. These drivers have been very close all race, so it will be interesting to see what happens here. But I think with the way the pit lanes are situated, I think that laggy person should be fine here. And the Butler and Deathbro both opt for the pit lane as well, so we'll definitely have to see where they come out compared to Master Berserk here, so we'll just keep an eye on this. Actually, you got to be careful, because that laggy person's going to get held here, and this could get Poms to the win position that he needs, and Poms to the win jumps that laggy person in the pit lane because of LCM, the Butler, and Deathbro behind. That is a change in the pit lane there, and looks like LC and the Butler is going to be exiting the pit lane now. We'll see where he is in comparison to Master Berserk. And looks like he's going to be fine. He's going to come out side by side with Comet straight here. Master Berserk just behind Deathbray, even further behind that. So the Butler just out ahead of Comet straight. He's going to have to warm up those tires very quickly to make sure that Comet straight doesn't manage to overtake him. Of course, Comet straight hasn't pitted yet, and Master Berserk is going to get past Comet straight as quick as he can as well. If he wants to stay in Comet straight, does the gentleman thing and lets Master Berserk through. Very, very, very kind of Conrad straight there, to say the least. And Berserk actually picks up a penalty, so I think the Butler and Master Berserk are even Stevens now again. Because the Butler picked up a penalty when Master Berserk entered the pit lane, so... Yeah, I'll definitely be interested to see. Of course, the big talking point there, that laggy person is now on the back foot behind Pomps of the Wind, so... Have to see what happens later in the race between those two and the New Zealand Venom pits. He has had a very quiet race, mostly alone for the race. I'm sure he's not complaining. P2 would be a fantastic result for him if he can keep this up. So, yeah, good job to New Zealand Venom on today's result. Looking at the movers and shakers, actually no, we shouldn't really be looking at the movers and shakers yet, but Nams has now gone into second place, of course, with the hard tyre. He's going to be running very long into this race on this tyre. He has had a couple of battles which have definitely put him on the back foot. He's now 21 seconds behind New Zealand Ryan, who hasn't pitted yet. So, I think Ryan's fairly safely got this win unless he makes a drastic mistake. So... Yeah, I think the only people out of order right now are Roscoe and Nams, but the rest have all mostly pitted except for maybe Ikawas, I'm fairly sure. And just have a look at the pits now. Yeah, Ikawas, Icarus, Bazooka, and then Roscoe and Nams. And then Ryan, he isn't really out of order because he's in a net P1, so... yeah, we'll have to see what happens there, but a lot of drivers are doing very, very well today. As we head on to laps, as Ryan is about to head on to lap 17, he's running these medium tyres a very, very long time. I'm quite surprised he has managed to take these so far. It'll be interesting to see how long he actually does opt to take these tyres for. Yeah, that laggy person is now getting within DRS range of Pomps of the Win as well. Just keeping an eye on a lot of the battles because it seems to be a bit spread out now that the pit stage has also happened. I think the closest battle on track is actually Bazooka and Icarus if we want to go on board with that. I believe there's a yellow flag in sector 2 actually, and that's Derek Kidd who's spun at turn 7. I think he's going to have to be careful not to disqualify himself here as well actually. He's going to, he's got to, no, he's stopped on track, he's waiting for Ryan I think. He's in the clear now, Nams is 22 seconds behind Ryan, so he's all good to continue now, but yeah, I think he's going to be struggling to get points today, Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, he's quite far behind at the moment. 26 seconds behind Common Straight. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for him. But, yeah, Ryan is he's a lap behind Ryan. And Ryan's taking this stint very far indeed. He's going on to lap 7. There we go. He's into the pit lane he goes. So, halfway through the Grand Prix. Yeah, Roscoe Arm's actually taking this a long way too. So, Roscoe, I'm thinking something similar to Ryan, it looks like, as Ryan into the pit lane, as he's probably going to go onto the hard compound tires. Yeah, there he goes, hard compound tires. It's going to be fitted there. Nams is coming through the penultimate corner. Ryan could actually still come out in first position. I think he will. Nams is coming through the final corner now. Ryan is just coming out of the pit lane. And, yeah, Ryan is out and he's ahead of Nams. So Ryan has lost no positions from his pit stop. Rearsar Roscoe Arm is into the pit lane now. So where's Roscoe Arm going to come out in all of this? Venom's behind Nams. He's 7 seconds behind as Roscoe Arm is going to go onto a set of hard compound tires there. Roscoe Arm falling down the order a little bit. Yeah, there he goes. As Matt is now going to overtake Roscoe Arm in the pit lane there. Kairos, can he get past Roscoe Arm? It's going to be quite close, I think. Roscoe Arm gets ahead. It's not that close, but Roscoe Arm does get ahead of Kairos. So Roscoe Arm in the points as there's another yellow flag. And it looks like it's Icarus. Yeah, just letting a few drivers through. It's actually let Common Straight through for some reason. But anyway, we're over halfway through this Grand Prix now. Ryan with a 3-second time penalty. I don't think that's going to matter too much there. Nams, when is Nams going to pit, you reckon?
Championship changing stuff.
Yeah.
I think maybe if he's following the medium runners, maybe a lap I reckon lap 19 or lap 20, of course, because he will be on fresh mediums as well, so he can afford to run them a bit longer. Actually, is he going to offer it here? Yeah. A lot of drivers there, not going. A lot of drivers going over the white line there. And yeah, Derek is also in the pit lane, of course. Yeah, it's not too bad.
I think there was
Genji maybe like
Austria.
a couple hundredths at most.
Yeah, so I think in Austria, I'm not sure if AOR like well, when I was racing, I think AOR made it a rule that you can't actually like cut the. I can't really describe it. Going into the penultimate corner of Austria, going a little bit wide, you take the normal racing and then cut in. You can't do that to the AOR rules. You have to actually take the racing, the actual pit lane bit there. So I don't think that's going to be a rule here. It shouldn't be, I think. Well, it can't be anyway. Yeah. Can it? I mean, oh dear.
No.
That is a type
got a 10
that we haven't seen in a while.
He went wide at turn 1. The grass at turn 1, and he got a 10-second time penalty.
Dear.
He could probably get that removed if he sent that in, but don't think he's a minute behind everyone else. I don't think it's really going to affect his position too much. But yeah, because of course with Austria as well, Austria you'll generally see a lot of collisions at the entry to the pit lane as well, because some drivers may want to be opting for the pit lane, but if they're on the left-hand side, of course they can't get through. So that's why Austria has that. Where you got to basically go past the white line the turn before heading to the pit lane. And yeah, all the yellow flags right now are basically Derek Kidd just moving out the way for people, so not too worried about them right now. Comes to the win has pulled a second on that leggy person now, so he's got a bit of breathing room there. The closest battle on track is that Derek Kidd again? That doesn't look like Derek Kidd. He seems to be driving fine. I think it might have been Icarus. Icarus and Derek Kidd and Brazuca are mostly yellow flags so far this race. Yeah, so Nams is right behind Deathbro right now. This is going to be a very interesting battle indeed. Of course, these guys came very close to contact earlier in the race. And I don't think Deathbro is going to want to give this up easily, but I think he has to with Nams' fresh mediums here. And look like Nams is going to get the mover. Just got to make sure he gets his corner right so Deathbro can't fight back, and he does. So Nams is now going to be chasing down Master Berserk and LC and the Butler, who are actually very close on track. Of course, these guys have been very close for most of the races. Berserk cuts the corner slightly a bit, but yeah, Nams is going to be within DRS and looking to pounce as soon as he can. So definitely an interesting battle to watch. Berserk made a mistake as well. Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting. Of course, Nams. I reckon Nams, if he can maybe get past Berserk and that Butler quickly enough, he could probably maybe try and fight for a podium here, Charlie. We'll have to see what happens here, but I think it's definitely possible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be really close. Let's go. Yeah, Nams on the mediums. He needs to get past all of these guys. It's gonna be tough
right now.
Get past Berserk.
This is crunch time.
Yeah, it's go time. We've got 14 laps remaining for the Toro Rosso driver. He's right behind Berserk. I don't think he's an official Toro Rosso driver, but he's a Toro Rosso driver today, as he's going to go to the outside line of Master Berserk. Heading into turn 1, I think he's just going to let him go. No, Master Berserk's actually going to try and force it. He's going to try to go down the inside, but I think Nams does make the move, and he does so. So Nams up into P6. Next up is Butler just ahead of him here for P5 as they go into turn 2. It's quite crazy to think that Berserk and Butler were fighting for this whole Grand Prix, and then Nams just comes out of nowhere, and they could be able to just mug both of these two drivers here as they go into turn 4 and heading him to turn 5, as he's already on the back of Butler, and it's going to be quite close. Is Nams just going to try go for it now? Is he going to be impatient? Is he just going to go for it? There's a little bit of slight contact between Nams and Butler there, just a little bit of a touch of the gearbox as they head into turn 8 and into turn 9 and 10, right on his gearbox as a Toro Rosso driver. So Nams needs to be a little bit careful here. Maybe he wants to be patient, wait for the DRS straight, or maybe just wants to go for it. Has he got enough time to wait? I don't know. Nams is the driver of this. He's going to be the one controlling all of this as he goes into the penultimate corner. And if Nams does get past Butler, then Laggy Person is ahead of him 5.4 seconds up the road as they go into the final corner. DRS is going to be enabled for Nams, and he's already right in the gearbox of Butler. Butler's going to go defensive, so that means Nams is going to go to the outside line, and he's going to do the same move that he did on Master Berserk. Is Butler going to go? He's going to go for it down the inside anyway, and he's actually going to force his way past, and is Nams going to try and get past Butler onto the outside line going into turn 2. The under and over that he's done to a few drivers before. There's Butler's still right there. He's still on the inside line, heading to the inside line. Is Nams now onto turn into turn 3, and they're still side by side going into turn 4. He's going to back out, and no, they're both going to try and back out because they actually both went really slow into there. So now Nam's going to try and go around the outside, going into turn 5 and heading into the final chicane, into turn 6, and into turn 7, and there's contact, and there goes Butler, and he's round, and I think Nam's actually got out of that without much harm. Their Master Berserker's in P6, Deathbow's in 7th, and now Butler has dropped down to 8th there. And Nams actually, where's Nams going? Nams is letting him through. Nams is letting Butler through. So, yeah, that was quite interesting.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a bit strange from Nams. Yeah, I think Butler was more than he wasn't alongside Nams there. I think he didn't trying to enjoy the battle, but I think that was the spin actually was Butler's fault, which is making me a bit confused as to why Nams is maybe Nams was playing it safe, maybe thinking, because of course he probably had a different POV to what we had. So yeah, so is that man, LC and the Butler are having a battle right now, and actually, oh no, Butler's going to have more contact here, and Nams is actually going to be really racing behind these. Is this going to be 3 wide at all here? Actually, Nams is a bit boxed in here by Is That Matt, but he's going to have to try for the move again, as LC and the Butler is going to try and hang it side by side with Is That Matt here, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to, as Derek contests the fastest lap. But oh, this is going to be the exact same situation as the last time Nams backs out. But he's going to get the... Oh, and that was very, very close. He's going to be able to get the switch back here. These guys are having an insane battle here. Mad respect to both of these guys for the battle that they're having. Keeping the viewers entertained here. And yeah, Nams, of course, with the fresh tires, is definitely going to be so racy right now. This is going to be so... And he's going to go for the dive down the inside here. And that is contact. And yeah, that... Oh, that's a bit of a shame for Nams.
I mean,
yeah.
I think Nams, but Nams letting Butler through that, I'm not sure. I mean, in my opinion, it didn't look like Nams was at fault there, but yeah, I don't really know what to think of that. Yeah, but Nams is down into P10 now.
Yeah, there's a yellow flag in Sector 2, that's Brazuca again. See, the thing with Nams is he is probably, I reckon, in this field, he's at least one of the top 3 fastest drivers, but he just can't, he's been struggling to, you know, string a race together to get the result, and he gets a penalty for speeding the pit lane. I think he will drop out the points here. But yeah, but like, the thing with Nams is he's been one of the fastest drivers for years. It's just that he sometimes he can be a bit inconsistent, like what we saw right then. For example, he started near the back of the grid, though he does have the pace to be up the front. And I think if he got his a bit more consistent, I definitely think he could be challenging for a title maybe next season or beyond. So I think he's just going to work on his consistency a bit. Especially maybe with the qualifying, because he has gotten caught up in a lot of instances. Bahrain comes to mind, as well as Hungary, where he started near the back of the field and he struggled and got involved in incidences. So I think if he got his qualifying maybe a bit more near the front, like for example where he was in Australia, I definitely think we could be seeing a good title fight, title challenge next season from Nams, especially if he does attend all the races, Charlie.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an incident here with Brazuca. In P14, Butler's into the pit lane, and he's going to make his 2nd stop of the day, and he's maybe thinking about going for the fastest lap, as Nams is overtaking Conrad Straits, and now Nams is back out into the points, but with that time penalty he needs to take a 5-second gap, I think it was, as Butler out onto the medium compound size, not the softs. He's going to take the mediums. So we've still got this battle for P3 here, Fez. We haven't talked much about this. Laggy Person and Poms for the win. This time it's Poms who's ahead of Laggy Person, which was the other way round before the pit stops, where Poms actually jumped Laggy Person in the pit stops. But yeah, Poms doing a good job here, and he could be on for a podium. Poms has done a great job so far, hasn't he?
Yeah, Poms has done a fantastic job. He has been keeping up with that Laggy Person, and of course, he did actually pull away from that Laggy Person. I remember saying that he had more than a 2nd gap on him after a couple of laps, but it looks like the Laggy Person has managed to bring that gap back down. So, yeah, that is definitely going to be a battle to watch, as most of the field is now spread out due to, I think, mostly Nams and the Butler's incidences. So, yeah, this is definitely the closest battle to watch right now. I think we should stay on board with it for now. They're both going and overtake ERS, and I don't think none of them are going to give an inch here. And I know Poms is definitely very racy, and he does try his hardest to defend a position. So definitely will be a good battle to see. And the yellow flag is just Brazuca having another spin. He's had a few spins. He's had a few spins today. So, and yeah, that Deathbreed actually as well. He's actually right behind Master Berserk as well. So that may be a battle to watch later this race as well, as that laggy person picks up a penalty. There's so much happening now. This is getting really crazy. I think that yellow flag that was there for a while, I think that was just Derek Kidd, who I think he most likely probably retired in the pit lane as Noms sets the fastest lap. So we've got two battles to watch now, Charlie, as there's another battle, and Brazuca is now out of the session. No safety car though, but yeah, it's a bit of a shame for Brazuca.
I missed the safety
as he
car.
DNF'd from today's race. Yeah, bring back the safety car. I mean,
Where's it gone?
It has definitely brought. The safety car definitely brings out a lot of interesting races. I think the last time that we had a full core safety car would have been Bahrain in season 4. So that was a long time ago, because that would have been the start of that season. So yeah, definitely a long time since then. And that was definitely the ending to that race was definitely so interesting as well.
I've loved commentating when there was a safety car, because the starts would always be so cool to watch, but looks like the safety car's doing a little bit of hibernating right now, as Laggy Person and Poms the Win are still going at it here for position 3 going into turn 2. Laggy Person has got that DRS on that on Poms the Win, so they were actually quite close heading towards turn 1. So Laggy Person's a little bit closer to Poms the Win than he has been before, going into the fast left-hander turn 4 into turn 5. So time's running out. They both don't have penalties, so just straight down to raw pace here. As yeah, go on, Fendz.
Okay, so that leggy person actually has a penalty. While Poms, 30, so, like he's done so many laps at Hungary. He's only got one warning. Oh, nice. New Zealand Venom as well. Shout out to New Zealand Venom. He hasn't got a single warning yet, and that is amazing. Especially at a track like Hungary, where you can get so many penalties. As we can see, for example, looking at Master Berserk right now, who I think has 9 seconds worth of penalties. Deathbro has 2 penalties. Islam has a penalty. Roscoe has 2 penalties. Butler has 2 penalties. Nams has a penalty in a 5-second and another penalty. Conrad Strait has 2 warnings. Very good from Conrad. Ikawas has 1 warning. Icarus has 2 penalties. Brazuca and Derek are out the race, so their penalties don't really matter right now. Nams picks up another one as well. Yeah, definitely battles to watch right now. Deathbro and Master Berserk. Deathbro, of course, with his 3, as he has less penalties than Master Berserk, may decide to just stay behind him, not risk an incident. Of course, we have seen a couple of instances involving Nams and LC and the Butler throughout this race. While Laggy Person will need to get past Poms to the win and pull that 3-second gap if he has any hope of getting that podium position, or maybe hope that Poms to win gets a penalty. But Poms to win has been very consistent this race, as Deathbro picks up a penalty. So yeah, it's going to be very close between Master Berserk and Deathbro now. Actually, I'm going to double check, because I said so many penalties there, I've completely forgotten how many Deathbro had. So Deathbro has 3 penalties, and Deathbro has 3 penalties as well. So this is a battle for position between Master Berserk and Deathbro here. I think a couple of drivers here are making mistakes. A lot of drivers are actually running wide where Deathbro just passed. We've seen that lately, but yeah. Only battle within the second right now is still Laggy Person and Poms to the Win. We're going to see Poms to the Win has been doing a fairly good job of keeping position though, but Poms to the Win is opting for the high ERS here, and this could give Laggy Person the run that he does need. Laggy Person in the overtake mode, and he's going to have to stay behind Poms here. But Poms actually makes a bit of a mistake here, but that Laggy Person doesn't get the run that he needs. So they're just going to hold position for now with 6 or 7 laps to go. My math isn't that great. And is that Matt right now is right behind Deathbro. Deathbro is now falling back behind Master Berserk, so something must have happened to Deathbro here, because making a few mistakes. And is that Matt is now right in the battle here, as Nams actually does. Nams pits again. He's just retired. He's just retired from the race. I think he's had enough for today.
Yeah, he's had a. He's had a roller coaster. He's had a roller coaster race today. So he's been up there and then he's dropped down. Yeah, I think Nams can. We've discussed it before, Fendz. Nams just needs to come back stronger, you know, because he's really quick. Is that Matt? He's round. Oh no! He's round at turn 8, I think, as his teammate goes past him. My goodness me.
The
That could have
Williams
ended
corner.
bad. Oh dear.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of incidents. That corner is very incident prone for AOR Oceania, it seems. Of course, in season 3 we had that incident, and then of course I think we've had 2 or 3 instances there. We've had 2 or 3 instances there today. So I don't know what it is about that corner, but it seems like Oceania drivers are struggling to go through that cleanly.
Like the person pumps the win. Look at this, friends. It's about 2 tenths separating these two. We haven't talked about this, but Hungary people kind of knows like Monaco at the barriers, but league racing wise, in this league especially, Hungary's actually been pretty decent, and we've seen quite a few battles, especially today. So Hungary underrated for the Oceania leagues here. So this is quite an iconic track for this league.
Yeah, I remember this. The league opener was at Hungary, which is in season 1, because we started midway through the season when AOR brought its league down to down under, and that was a really intense battle. It was wet to dry, and I remember team at Marduk started on pole in New Zealand, Ryan, and there was like a 4 or 5 car train involving Nams, me, Warden, Ryan, and team at Marduk for a long time, and that was definitely a very interesting race to watch. It was definitely a great opener for the Oceania League. And actually, Lucky Person may be looking for an overtake here. This is the closest he has been all race, and pumps to the win, opts for the inside line here. That Lucky Person is going to have to try for the switchback. He needs the traction, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it. He's going to have to stay behind Pumps to the win for another lap here. Time is running out for that Lucky Person. He definitely needs to make the move soon, especially as he has 3-second penalty compared to Poms, who has 0. So yeah.
Poms is doing such a good job. He's doing so well right now, and he just needs to hold on a little bit longer. Remember that Poms hasn't got a time penalty, so if Laggy Person does get past Poms, he just needs to stay within 3 seconds. So go on, Poms, you got this. The old commentator, he used to be alongside me. So Visa Roscoe Arm is worth 3.7 seconds behind him. Deathbow's got his teammate is that map behind him. Butler in P9 again. Butler, he's done pretty well this race. It's just unfortunate, a few mistakes there and a few incidences, but this shows that Butler's actually got the potential. I think we need to keep an eye on Butler throughout the rest of the season, friends, because I really feel like he's got something. He's got the other racing side, like Forza, and just coming to F1. If he converts that to here, then he's going to be mighty quick. As again, Laggy Person Poms the win. They're going at it once again. Lap 30 out of 35. Poms goes defensive once again. And is Laggy Person going to try to do the under and over again? Is he going to try and make this work? This time it looks like he's a little bit more successful here, but it's just not enough to get past the racing point at this moment, as he's going to have to wait another lap. But time is going to keep going and going, but there's only 3 laps left then, so he's got to make this move stick soon if he wants to really get up there, and the 3-second gap as well, so he needs to push, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and another battle to keep an eye on is that Matt is now within DRS with VSR Roscoe again, of course, after his spin. And actually keep an eye on it now, because Roscoe's just ran really wide, and is that Matt is very, very racy behind VSR Roscoe arm now. It looks like he's not going to be able to make the position. Icarus is out of the session. It's too late for a safety car, really, though, and Roscoe arm actually lets is that Matt through. So, yeah, a bit of a shame for Icarus here. That's on the racing line as well. But I think it's too late for the safety car to come out. I think it needs 4 laps, I'm fairly sure, for it to have a 1-lap shootout.
Like
yeah. And the Butler pits and he rejoins in P9. But yeah, as you were saying about him, I definitely think if he puts some more time into the Formula 1 game, I definitely think he has the potential to maybe be up there, even, up there with, Ryan. But I think because he has the Forza commitments, of course, with the Le Mans Esports series, he doesn't overly have the time to prepare, I think, for the series maybe as much as he would like, which is a shame, as he definitely has a lot of potential. But yeah, and actually, just to keep an eye on this, is that Matt was right behind him, Deathbray, and Deathbray is seriously struggling here. It looks like that Matt's going to offer the inside line here. This is a bit of a surprise. I didn't expect that Matt to catch up to Deathbray here, and Deathbray is going to have to offer the outside line. I've got a feeling Deathbray might have wing damage, but I'm not too sure about that. But just judging by the way he took the last corner, he might. No. I think he may have some form of wing damage, or maybe he's just made a mistake
Oh no, he
somewhere
does.
and
He
that's
does.
allowed.
You can see.
Yeah.
You can see through that corner there. He just had to take a little bit of lift. This is probably the corner that we'll have to see it. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it looks like he does. If we go into this camera, you can't. Is it his left? I can't really see that well. Going into 6 and 7. Oh, I really can't see, to be honest. But I think he does have minor front wing damage, and yeah, you can see Roscoe Arm's really catching quick now. So, just that little bit of damage could actually cost him quite a few positions here. The final few laps of the Hungarian Grand Prix, back up to the front. We've got Laggy Person and Poms going at it once again. It's going to be the second last chance that Laggy Person can actually probably do this, as he's going to go to the outside line once again on Poms into the first corner, under and over. We've seen this move over and over again. As again, he just can't get that traction alongside, so we have to wait again, Fens, and it's going to be his last chance.
Yeah, I mean, the last lap overtake definitely may be on the cards, but I don't know if like person may just play a bit cautious, but yeah, especially through this part of the track, he won't be able to overtake, so the last real opportunity is mostly through turn 1 that he will have. And the only other real battle right now on track is going to be VSI Roscoe just behind Deathbro, and they both look to be about the same pace right now, as that Matt has pulled a 2-second gap on Deathbro, so that's definitely going to be one to watch as well, especially in the final few laps, of course, with Deathbro's damage. As we can see there, it just allows Roscoe to catch up so much. And of course, I think LC and the Butler's going for fastest lap as well right now. Not too sure about that, but yep. Going to go on board with that Leggy Person for the final lap. See if he does attempt to make the overtake. He does have the ERS available to make the overtake, so we'll definitely be able to see here if he can get the run on Poms to win. Poms to win does have it as well. Poms to win goes into the overtake ERS. He is going to try and hold on here. That Leggy Person may try and opt for the outside line. He is going to have to be very brave around the outside. Poms to win is going to have to give him space here. This could be the overtake that we have been looking for so long. This is the battle we've been waiting for, and that Leggy Person is going to keep it on the inside. And there's contact. Oh, and that is the contact. And luckily, unlike Nams and LC and the Butler, there isn't a spin there. Very, very, very lucky there, I think, to avoid incident. Roscoe Arm and Deathbro are having a battle as well. Go on board with that. And I think Roscoe Arm runs a bit wide here. They're going to head side by side, heading into turn 2 here, though. Roscoe Arm with the inside line probably should get the movement done. Actually, no, he runs wide. And that's going to allow Deathbro back through. So I think Deathbro, even with his possible wing damage, I think he's going to keep the position. Unless Roscoe maybe tries for a dive bomb here. It would be very, very risky, though. Oh, and Ryan. He's up our head. We completely forgot. we completely forgot that Ryan won the race. Oh, jeez. And that Leggy Person picks up another penalty. Congratulations to Ryan on his win today. Didn't get to see him come out the final corner, though. And yeah, it's a bit of a gap. And yeah, we'll keep him on board with the fight. Now that that was finished up, we'll keep him on board with the Roscoe. He may try for a last lap gasp here on Deathbro. Oh, I think he's going to be a bit late. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to, unless maybe Deathbro doesn't get the run that he needs through this second last corner here. And actually, this could actually open the door. He does run a bit wide. This has allowed Roscoe to make it side by side. Deathbro is going to probably try and keep his nose in, though, heading battle through the final corner. This is amazing here.
Oh my!
It looks like Roscoe is going to get the position. What a move from Roscoe here. And Roscoe does get the position. It wasn't for position though because of Deathbro's penalty, but that was still a very, very interesting battle, Charlie. That was fantastic. We've definitely had some fantastic battles today. And yeah, so the gap between Ryan and Venom as well ended up actually being 18 seconds. I'm assuming that's because of Ryan's penalties, and last time I checked, Venom was very, very clean in terms of his penalties. So yeah, that was definitely a crazy race, Charlie. This is probably what up there along with, I'm trying to think of all the other good races. I remember France was a really good race as well for the Oceania region as well. So yeah, this is definitely one of the races that was up there.
Yeah, the last few races around here in the Oceania League has been absolutely amazing. Hungary is literally the home of league racing for Oceania at the moment. There's been action after action every single league race, and this has just made it even better. So congratulations to all of the drivers that finished in today's race and who raced anyway. But yeah, Hungary, it's just underrated, it looks like, for Oceania. New Zealand right again brings home another win for Ferrari with a 18-second lead there from New Zealand. Venom, but it was like 20-ish seconds or whatever with time penalties. But Venom with his podium, so really good job from him as well. Poms the win, takes a podium too, so positions are really good today. We're like person in 4th, Berserk in 5th, who started from 9th. This time who started 13th, finishing 6th. Roscoe I'm in 7th, Deathblow 8th, Butler in 9th with Codemasters in 10th. All of those guys getting some points today, with Ikawas in 11th, Icarus 12th, Nams in 13th, Bazooka 14th, and Derek in 15th. But that race was incredible. Do you have a driver of the day there, Fenz?
Well, I mean, there's one driver that I think kind of stood out today was Ryan, definitely. He actually did get the fastest lap on the hard tyre, was less than 100th behind, was LCM the Butler. So there was, I think, 800s between, 8,000s, I mean, in between them in the end. So,
wow.
Yeah, very close for that last point there.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I'm gonna give it to Poms. I think Poms has done a really good job today. Started 3rd, ended 3rd, and yeah, just a really good job overall. And I think next week it is Spa. Is it Spa? I think it's Spa, and I love Spa.
A good track.
I absolutely love Spa. So yeah, that is definitely going to be a track that you can that you need to watch next week. And make sure you check out all of the other streams later today for European Americans. You've probably heard me say the times enough, but I can't really remember them, to be honest.
I remember them. 7 p.m.
Fenz,
PS4, isn't it? 7 p.m. PS4, isn't it? 8 p.m. PC and all other like non-stream tiers, and then 9 p.m. is Xbox.
Wow.
I think. Yes.
Well,
yes. Yeah. Let's go.
He's got it.
Let's go.
Well,
because like, especially like during the school holidays, I generally watch the PS4 stream because it's on at like 3 a.m. so it's not too bad.
Okay, fair enough. Well, at least someone remembers it that's actually commentating, so thanks for that, Fenz. And yeah, thank you for joining me in today's race, because that was a hell of a race.
Yeah, that was definitely an intense race, and hopefully Belgium produces some great racing just like we saw at Hungary. I mean, different dynamic, because it'll be mostly I think DRS will definitely assist a lot with the overtaking at Belgium. Definitely a different dynamic to Hungary, but it definitely does produce good races, so definitely one to watch out for, and you should tune in next week.
Yeah, definitely. So thanks, Fenz, for joining me in the comments box. Thanks for Jess doing the camera work behind the scenes, and we'll see you next week for the Belgian Grand Prix. Goodbye.